Today is Sunday, September 18th, 2022, and this is Flashpoint. Where in the world are we? Hi and welcome to Flashpoint, coming to you this morning from Huntington Place. I'm not sure I ever foresaw a day where the Detroit Auto Show looked like this, with a massive rubber duck, which is an inside joke for Jeep enthusiasts, but we're also outside enjoying the sunshine as the auto show is here, as it's moved to its new position here in September. But as we discussed on last week's program, the survival, the success, the existence of this huge centerpiece of Detroit life for so long is dependent on a really big year this year. And that's our topic today on Flashpoint. We're going to start this morning here at Huntington Place and this new edition of the Detroit Auto Show. You look around the showroom floor here, it is different. There's not near as much bric-a-brac, not as much being spent on the displays themselves. It is designed that way to be a much more hands-on, interactive experience. We're going to start this morning talking about what is a terribly important year for one of the marquee events of any year in Detroit, except for the last couple. And nobody's happier to have it back than the executive director of the North American International Auto Show, Rod Albertson. Rod, good to see you.
It's so great being here, Devin.
It is nice to be back.
Be back at it.
I know you can't believe how long it's been. I don't want to overstate it. I said last week on the program, this feels like a really important year for the survival and the existence of this show. Am I right?
Well, look at it's been 3.5 years since we've had a show. And I've been here for 30 years, so I was here at the beginning of going international, and what a great run we had, with the raising money for charities and all the unveilings. But it's a different time. Everything we went through with the pandemic changed the world. Technology advanced at a greater speed within the cars, on the way they market, and with what you do for a living too. So when you take a look at it, what we want to do is embrace the change, show Detroit's in the leadership position in mobility, do things different. Shows around the world have had challenges, but we found a way this year to really create some hype, bring the president in, and do some things differently.
It's a crazy day this past week with him here, but tell me a little bit about the move to trying to create a more experiential moment for the people that come to a show. It's not, you don't want this to be just walking around a showroom anymore.
You remember the old days, it was about kicking tires, that whole cliche statement. Here's what we have today is people want to get in the cars and feel the activations, feel the experience, touch them, ride in them, know what electrification's all about. The only way to do that is put them in the car. And we're doing it right here in Huntington Place. So we've got 5 or 6 activations on the show floor that you get in the car and go to 0-60 in 3 seconds right here, go up a mountain in a Bronco, and take Camp Jeep over mountains too. Yep. It's just an incredible experience that you can do here. Plus the fact that there aren't that many cars out there you can go look at right now with inventories.
It's really true, and that's one of the big dilemmas that you've got and that the dealers have, and we're going to talk a little bit about the future of being a dealer right now, but just let me get back to the fact that we've moved it to September, because I spent enough years slogging through the snow to walk from the studio to get over here. I imagine the reaction to that so far has been pretty positive.
Think about that. We have 2,000 media here from 40 countries and 45 states. Here we have all these that came in this week in the month of September in this kind of weather. They thought all we had was January overcast and snowy. Remember those days? But think, here we have showing off, a showcase to the world how great Detroit is in this time of year. Outdoor activations, engaging people, bringing them downtown, educate on electrification, and make this show a different kind of show. Again, change is very difficult for people, but embracing it and taking it to the future where it's headed, why not? Let's talk flying mobility all the way to cars that we have here that are electrified.
Where should we start?
Let's start at Ford. I think that's a great place. They got a great activations over there, and I think everybody's going to love it this weekend.
Lead the way. That is a pickup truck taking off like, dare I say, lightning. That's the Ford F-150 Lightning. Rod, so many people are curious about electrics. They really haven't had the experience. This is an opportunity to really figure out what it's about.
Probably for the first time ever, here in Detroit, you've got all these activations, but here, right here in Ford, you have Bronco Mountain, and I hear it's like a 35 or 40 degree which feels like you're looking straight down when you're going down. It's amazing, and it's a chance to really feel the vehicle and what it can do.
Now, when you told the automakers that you wanted this to be more experiences built into the show, Did they embrace that immediately, think that's great, or did they roll their eyes and go, oh, terrific, and now this is something else we have to do?
Well, funny you may ask. You know, the consumers really wanted it too. This new generation buyer wants to know the technology and the feel of the car. So when the OEMs and the manufacturers come to play here, they go, let's do that for them too. Let's not build the Taj Mahal displays anymore. Let's put it into the activations, and that's what you have here. So when you take a Bronco Mountain or the Ford F-150 Lightning going 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, does it get better than that? I mean, that's what you want to really experience the product.
It's really the miracle of the electrified vehicle.
And I know you like electric cars.
People on the program know that I'm an ardent supporter and believer, but a lot of people really haven't had a chance to figure out what it's all about. No. But that also pushes the question, Rod, are we pushing people to electric before the market's ready, before they're ready, and before the infrastructure's ready?
You know, that's the $64,000 question, because the government is pushing it in a big way, obviously. We had the president talking about that. But I think from a consumer side, there's an education that goes along with it, and that's our job. That's our job with the show and in Detroit, and to show off what can be done with it, that it does work. But there's a comfort level that you have to get, and we're not there yet. There's a transition, and we all have to be a part of that. But as soon as you buy in, there'll be a day you look back and go, did we actually drive those other cars?
The way it is the beginning of every revolution, right?
But at the forefront of that, we can be there, and especially with the technology and the automobility that we have here with startups. We have 80 startups here that are technology companies that aren't even in cars yet, that could be in the future. So we're at the forefront, but let's all be that. And I think in time there'll be a buy-in, but let's be patient. Let's be patient.
I'm not patient. Let's move on, see what else we can find. Well, we've made it to Camp Jeep. One more experience. They've kind of built a massive hill in here to show what a Jeep can do, and it's one more. I imagine the lines are going to get long for all these experiences, but that's going to be a good thing for you to see.
That's a great thing. We want people to come down and from all over the metro area and around the other states. I mean, we'll probably get a good crowd. But if you have these kind of experiences that we have here, showing what they're doing today, and again, it's 3.5 years. And a lot of these cars you can't even find in a lot of the dealerships now. You have to order and wait. There's an opportunity.
The other thing that was missing for the last couple of years was all the ancillary stuff for the city of Detroit. The restaurants, the hotels, they've got to be ecstatic that this is up and running again, but they also need it to continue to succeed.
You know, if we can be a part of that catalyst to energize Detroit and the restaurants and the community and the parks downtown, especially this time of year, why not? And the economic impact could be, a couple $100 million every year. Let's get this back on track and do it every year, because it really is having a Super Bowl here.
The last thing I wanted to talk to you about, and we're going to talk about this in our next segment, is the future, though, for dealerships. I can't believe how quickly we've gone to the place where more than half of the vehicles are now purchased online. So I know dealers are trying to figure out the future themselves. What does it look like to you?
You know, realize too that when you're buying a car these days, they can be $45,000, $40,000. It's a big purchase, like buying a house. You still have to go see the vehicle, whether an auto show or the dealership. I know they're buying online, but they still, at some point, they need it serviced, and the dealers in their communities are important to be a part of their community. There's a place for all that, because again, it's an important part of the family of the auto world, of what you have in your culture and your car is a very important aspect of your lifestyle. So the dealers will play that role.
And we're going to talk about that in our next segment. Rod, thanks so much. Great to walk around the show and great to have it back. I know you feel the same way. You bet. We come back, we'll talk more about the dealership picture. This is Flashpoint on Local 4.
This is a Gardner-wide exclusive offer. Get the largest price rollbacks on Serta ever. Every mattress is priced to sell, with rollbacks up to an extra $1,000 off the sale price. Like this Serta Perfect Sleeper. Price cut and price cut again. Just $7.99 with free gifts. We make it easy with 0% financing up to 60 months and free same-day delivery. Do not miss out on this limited time savings opportunity. One more reason why. Gardner-wide is Detroit's #1 mattress store.
Think as if it were you on the other side.
If I see something good around the country, we're adopting it.
It's hard. we are really, really close to a tipping point.
That is astronomically insane.
Solutionaries, the creative thinkers and doers working to make the world a better place. Subscribe at youtube.com/solutionaries.
So while the auto show was taking shape here, Ford CEO Jim Farley was hosting a meeting in Las Vegas with Ford dealers. General Motors has likewise been working on a new dealership approach and path. And as I asked Rod Alberts, what is the future of the American auto dealership? Pretty good question right now. I'm joined by Jason Stein, the host of Cars and Culture on Sirius XM and a vice president with the Feldman Auto Group, and Carrie Way, who heads up the Crest Automotive Group. Thanks so much for coming today. I'm really curious. This is a really, I kept calling it an existential moment for auto shows. We may be reaching, I don't know, Carrie, are we arriving at an existential moment for car dealers?
Well, there's a lot of things happening here. Obviously, we've received messages from Ford about what their expectations are for us with regards to electrification certification.
It's going to be very expensive.
Well, it does stand to be an investment, but one that many, many dealers, especially locally, are considering. My experience thus far is that there is an appetite for electric vehicles in this market. We haven't been able to get them for various reasons that go far beyond what's happening in Detroit. It's about what the federal government's expectations are for the sale of electric vehicles. People want them. We've just had a hard time getting them. And so we're very excited to continue to go down the path of having an electric vehicle portfolio. It's a timing situation. We've all lived through the evolution of the smartphone. And so I want to invest today, but is my infrastructure going to be obsolete in 2 years?
It's a really heavy question.
It's almost like going from the horse and buggy to the Model T and all of the things that needed to be worked out during that period of time. Of course, we weren't there during that, but roadways needed to be established, gas stations needed to be set up. And yeah, you're having to make enormous bets on something that the consumer hasn't even said that they're all in with yet. Correct. Because 95% of them have internal combustion engine vehicles. By the way, a few of them were shown downtown here this week, including one significant one.
Right. Yeah. Now, as I also though said to Rod, I can't believe how quickly we arrived at the moment where more than half of the cars right now are being purchased online. That is also a massive challenge for the dealership structures we've come to know it, isn't it?
Devin, something that even 3 years ago was just starting to go through its own personal evolution. When you look at the fact that COVID has really accelerated all of those buying habits, you know that better than anybody, the fact that the consumer now has a much better experience, and dealers have adopted that and adapted to the way of the world that is now more of a shop, click, and buy. And that's just something that if we had this conversation at the auto show, back in 2015, we'd say, well, we'd like to get there at some point. But the tipping point was truly COVID and a consumer that just had a different way of approaching business.
The other thing, Saturn most famously tried this. Over the years, we watched no haggle pricing. That's another thing, though, that I think a lot of consumers want to wash their hands of, and they kind of like the idea of, oh, this is what it says, and I'm going to click buy. That's also a challenge for the typical way that we've done this, isn't it?
Well, it is and it's not. I'm on board to eliminate the haggling from the experience as well. It's nothing that we've particularly enjoy. There is an expectation of receiving a deal, though, still. You know, for 40, 50 years of purchasing vehicles, I'm looking for the best deal. So,
but we end up like people on an airplane, and everybody's realizing that everybody on there paid a different price for their seat, right?
Sure,
well, I pay a different price on markups, too, which have occurred because of the supply shortage. And that's when I think reputationally dealers are the good dealers are going to be the ones who are going to say, I'm not going to gouge the customer right now because I can, because there are still 3 to 5 million more people out there that wish that they could buy vehicles now, but they can't get their hands on them. And that's not going to change in the next year or two from what we're hearing.
The other thing, Carrie, that over the years we've come to understand that dealerships rely on their repair shops as being a big part of their business.
Absolutely.
Electric cars don't seem to need so far. We'll see. But you know, I never need an oil change in my electric car. There will seem to be so far less maintenance on electric vehicles. Does what kind of challenge does that
Well, maintenance there will still potentially be, right? Yes, you may not wear your brakes as quickly, but you could have to replace your brakes. Tires, obviously. Windshield repair. My dad has a Mach-E. He's had it in for service for a couple of reasons that we've been able to handle for him. So I do think, and we've got many, many years of internal combustion vehicles on the road as well. So
oh, sure.
Yes, it's definitely something to keep a pulse on, but is that something that's going to be a devastating impact to the dealer body tomorrow? I think we're a ways away from that, and dealers are very creative. They're entrepreneurs. Ford is giving us a lot of ways to continue to invest in our business. And so I think through that, there'll be different ways, different revenue sources that
it won't be a light switch either.
Yeah.
I mean, this is an evolution.
Sure.
Let's look out over the next 10 to 15 years. Everyone's going to have time to adjust to this, and there are more products coming. Ford has a range of products that are headed that way that I think the consumer will get used to, the dealer will get used to, the buying process, the service process will get there. We have to think of it more as the turn of the last
Now, it
century.
feels like General Motors, though, is trying to thin its herd a little bit on dealerships. Am I right, or am I reading that incorrectly?
Well, I think every automaker is looking at their distribution channel and saying, and they've been very public about this, everyone has, about how they squeeze more marketing costs, as they call it, distribution costs, because they look at that one brand that starts with a T and they admire that direct-to-consumer experience there. The problem is, or the opportunity for dealers, is that there's a lot of product coming from mainstream brands and automakers with franchise dealer networks where you can service that vehicle.
Yeah.
Service has been the worst part of the Tesla experience. They all love their vehicles, but they really don't like having to take care of them afterwards.
Especially, there's been a recall, and where do you take it?
Right.
when there's been no dealership, who do you call? Who are you going to call?
That speaks to the value of the people that work at our dealerships.
No doubt.
Because they're your phone call.
I wanted to let you both now weigh in, though, then and we've just got about a minute left, but the future of auto shows. This one especially relies on dealers. They're the ones it's always been the the DADA behind this show. What do you think?
Well, I'm obviously a little bit biased, but Ford's been a great partner in the auto show experience. If you happen to watch the Mustang release the other night, it was spectacular.
Yes.
I mean, the weather was perfect, beautiful night, beautiful vehicles, lots of people, a lot of excitement. So I do think there is an appetite to still see vehicles, not just on YouTube, have those experiences. Jury's still out on the timing, I think, for our city. I know a lot of people have sports tonight and activities and stuff like that, but I'm going to take my kids downtown next Friday. We're going to come see it all.
Having this show in the summer is a wonderful thing.
Amen to that.
I just think marketing departments have decided that, look, there are no vehicles on the lot, and why do we have to spend millions of dollars on enormous stands? It's coming back to a consumer show.
No doubt. We'll see how many consumers want to come next week. That's a great question.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for setting the stage for it. When we come back, we'll talk about the future of I-375. It's not long for this world. This is Flashpoint on Local 4.
Save 50% off all Lexington furnishings at Gorman's. Pure style has never been more affordable. Gorman's is offering factory direct savings of 50% off the unequal styling of Lexington this weekend at Gorman's.
The homes that stand the test of time have something essential in common. Durable, energy efficient, and weather resistant windows, roofing, siding, gutters, and gutter guards. From Hanson's, the home improvement experts. Get 50% off installation. Time is no match for Hanson's because everything we replace is made to last and guaranteed for life. That's why Hanson's has stood the test of time, too. With over 30 years' experience and thousands of 5-star reviews, we've built our reputation with service, quality, and craftsmanship, so you can protect, cherish, and take pride in your home for you and your family, for now and always. Get 50% off installation. Offer ends soon.
Call 1-800-HANSONS. Get it done.
Gorman's biggest warehouse sale in 5 years is this weekend. Save Saturday and Sunday with huge discounts on the best furniture brands, including an incredible leather selection. Everything ready for immediate delivery. Gormans.com for details.
As the world says their final farewell to the Queen, Local 4 brings you there live.
Don't miss my in-depth coverage of the historic event, live in London.
Expect more continuing coverage on Local 4 and streaming on Local 4 Plus. Being a WDIV insider has its advantages. Our insiders got treated like VIPs at the Romeo Peach Festival. It was a day of fun, food, and freebies. Don't miss out on the next exclusive Insiders event. To become a WDIV insider, scan this QR code to sign up for free.
Welcome back. For years, a great essay question for city planning students might be, what do you do with I-375 in Detroit? Years ago, the highway carved up the areas known as Black Bottom and Paradise Valley. But now, we learned last week, federal money is coming to change it dramatically. I've got Stephen Henderson here with me from Detroit Today on WDET, and so good to have back with me John Gallagher, back on the program, longtime reporter for the Free Press, who covered this matter extensively. I don't think would begin to cover it. But we've watched all of these. We've had the call for ideas that the city ran through. There have been so many proposals put forward. We finally get to the point now where something's going to happen. Give me your thumbnail.
Well, the federal government and the state are going to pay $300 million roughly to bring 375 up to the surface and make it a surface street, 3 lanes in each direction with a boulevard and some bike lanes and stuff, and try to knit together the area that's had this gash through it for the last 70 years.
Does this sound like the best? Because as I said, we saw lots of different ideas, and you covered many of them. Does this sound like the best approach?
Well, it's still going to be 3 lanes in each direction, so still a lot of traffic coming downtown. If you really want to solve the problem of connecting, you do more mass transit, build more housing downtown, deal with issues of race and equity and inclusion, but this will help more. It'll be better than what's there now.
Better than there. Stephen, some people have talked about this as being almost a corrective. Can we correct it at this point? I mean, can we can't get those neighborhoods back that were, at least certainly not in the iteration that they had.
See, I would push back on that.
No, please do.
Why can't we? I mean, why can't we at least try?
Okay.
Why can't we go find the families who lost houses and businesses when this was done and say, what would you like to do? Or how can we make you whole for what we took from you? This is an exercise that we're not entirely comfortable with, I know, in this country, but it is becoming more popular. And we're doing it right now in the city anyway. We've got a reparations commission that's studying ways that we can make up for the things that the city did to particularly the African-American population in the past. I think here at I-375, that's kind of ground zero for that discussion because of what happened and the way it happened. And there are lots of other places in the city that have the same issue. The neighborhood where I was born, near Livernois and Grand River, I'm born there in 1970. In 1973, the Jeffries Freeway comes right through there, divides our neighborhood in 2. Neither side has ever recovered from that. You can go all across Detroit and find other instances and have that same discussion. I think we owe it to the people who were wronged by this to have that discussion. Maybe we come up short, maybe we can't make every wrong right, but we sure should be trying.
John, you're nodding your head. This is because some people complain about the way that the reparations conversation is such a broad blanket that you just throw. This is very targeted then. This would be giving it to people who actually have a pretty legitimate claim to having been wronged.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree completely. I know the Barthwell family owned the pharmacies in Black Bottom. They were wiped out with almost no compensation. And this is, in a way, it's a long time ago. It's 75 years. But we know the families that were living there. We have the city directories. We can track down the people whose families, grandparents maybe, who were broomed out of there. And we can talk to them about what would you like and what can we do to help you. Black Bottom, most of Corktown was wiped out. Most of the near north side was wiped out, and elsewhere in the city where the expressways ran through. So yeah, I think that the idea of social justice, it's not just a matter of restoring one street, but really having a larger conversation about how you restore some social justice here.
And can we think a little more creatively about this space? We're going to make another 6-lane street. I mean, we love those in Detroit.
Don't we?
I don't. I think they are antithetical to the kind of walking neighborhoods that people like and that our city planner, Antoine Bryant, is talking about all over the place. I would expect that the city will maybe step up here and say, why don't we make this a neighborhood? Why don't we make this a walkable neighborhood that connects Lafayette Park and the east side to downtown?
We have to face the realities, though, that the city that we've created is one that relies on suburban access to downtown for jobs, right?
It does. It does for jobs, and I don't think you're harming suburban access. If you think about the number of freeways we have in Detroit, I count 5 major freeways cutting the city up. That's more than most cities have. You get rid of this little spur, you're actually not inconveniencing that many people. Most cities, in fact, with their freeways, don't have the freeway come all the way into the central core of downtown either. We have two, the Lodge and I-75, that come right into the middle of downtown, push them back, make those neighborhoods, and people can still get in and out.
But getting rid of 375 isn't like having your appendix out, something that you don't need. John, on game days, concert nights, 375 is packed.
Well, I think the long-term solution is better mass transit and other solutions, you know, to design a city.
Stop me if you've heard this before.
Right.
Better mass transit in Detroit.
Right, yeah, right, exactly.
No one's ever suggested.
But it's going to be very busy. As Stephen said, it's really going to be a very busy road. It's still going to bring a lot of traffic right downtown. So I think the authorities kind of flinched a little bit. We're going to try to bring 375 up to the surface, correct an old wrong if we can a little bit, but they flinched on what it means to have, you know, can we really divert all this traffic to somewhere to the north and then have people figure out how to get downtown?
We've just got a little bit of time left. The governor, in her remarks, as Secretary Buttigieg made this announcement last week, talked about, and the mayor did too, about getting more affordable housing in that area. We keep hearing and talking about affordable housing. How's it working to your view?
The problem is how we define affordable.
Yeah, right.
The numbers that we use don't really reach down into the depths of the economic crisis in Detroit. We got to redefine that and do better at making more of it available.
We're going to save that conversation for a future episode of the program. Thanks, guys, so much. John, really great to have you back again.
Thank you very much.
Really, really great. Thanks, Stephen.
Yep.
Next week, at this very moment, we will be talking with Alyssa Slotkin and Tom Barrett. How about that? Two candidates willing to face off against each other. That's next Sunday morning on Flashpoint at 10. I hope you'll be with us for that. Until then, Meet the Press coming up next. Have a great week. We'll see you next time on Flashpoint.